Hello there. No, I'm not giving a face reveal, you bastards. Hello there. No, I'm not giving a face reveal, you bastards. Oh, sorry, my bad. You? There we go. Hello there. We got Deadbird in the chat. If you want me to answer, I look closer to Goku because I'm not balding. So there is that. Sorry, I'm not talking a lot. I'm very bad at multitasking. No, obviously I'm not an anime character. Yes, I do actually. Well, okay. I don't have a Discord server, but I do have a Discord server that I hang out in. This is technically my friend's, but he just lets me like promote it and stuff. So that would be the closest thing to a Discord. How the fuck does this work? Okay, there. Fuck. My mouse is on its last legs, I have to be honest. We can all hear me, right? The music's not too loud. Yeah, I'm in a lot of servers, but that's because, that's because I'm a scan. Remember to read the juggles and have fun. There we are. Hello there, Henry. I'm gonna be honest, I've never been able to pronounce your name, so yeah. Scan Vulture. That's what I am. I'm a scan vulture, because you're a what? Scan vulture. Try to keep up, man. No, it didn't. I just don't talk during my streams. I watch my streams from my phone and my computer to make sure everything is good. Low-key, it might be a you problem. I don't say that to people. But every time, it's like, your stream is lagging out. No, it's not. I don't know. Oh, actually, you know it would be funny. You know it would be funny. We can do this. We'll do this. How do you... Flashbang. There we go. So, obviously I just put out Saitama vs. Ichigo, right? And it's doing really well. It's doing pretty good. These numbers aren't... Wait, no, you can... Actually, no, there's nothing but it's doing really well. Yeah, like nearly 7K before like even a day has passed. That's pretty good. So thank you for that. But obviously when you make a Saitama video, you always get Saitama fucking blazers. Don't look at this quick. Oh, wait. I'm watching stream on stream. I can't do that. Okay, yeah. So today we're... I think it'd be funny... Fuck. I think it'd be funny if we looked at some Saitama fans' reaction to my videos. Actually, maybe I should... hold on. Hold on. It'd be funny if I adjusted the title to be like that. Hold on. Hold on. Boop. If any of you steal my identity, I'm gonna... comment reaction. There we are, yeah. There we are. Alright. Sort by newest, unresponded. Wait, hold on. Let me open up this fucking stream on my phone so I know what people are saying. Sorry. Okay, there we go. Hello there. We can finally be bees. So... or maybe not a comment reaction. Because... I forgot how much I hate... Oh, this is a good one. Used a statement that states Ichigo is like lightning. This is simile and can't be used to scale Ichigo. Why not? People use that kind of stuff all the time, dog. I have to be honest. I feel like that's exclusively something you like. Fucking the Raikage from Naruto. He's like he moves at the speed of he moves like light or something. Actually, we can look up the fucking. Excuse me. We can look up the fucking databook scan. Raikage. Yeah, hold on. Boop. Yeah, it's this one here, isn't it? Yeah, right here. Almost at the speed of light. Okay, so... I mean, even that, you could argue that's still exaggeratory, but whatever. What's her name? The chopped girl? Senjumaru is not chopped. Universe shaking is a spectrum. It doesn't automatically grant universal low multi. You know what's crazy? Delicious fucking cola because someone wants to complain. The multipliers aren't consistent for Bankai. Why? Why aren't they? Like... this is something Kubo did, actually. Something really smart that Kubo did was the fact that he made Bankai like a 5 to 10 times multiplier. And obviously with Ichigo, like you could say, oh, well, he's like the main character, super high potential. He'd get the full 10 times multiplier. But for other characters, you could just say, oh, well, you know, it doesn't seem like that big of a boost because they only got 5 times stronger. Who is Senjumaru? She's the girl from... she's Senjumaru. Blech. Yeah, this woman. She's a part of Squad Zero. Fucking... yeah, no, actually, that's it. She's just a part of Squad Zero. The second, being the Espada guy, is very iffy, and even if taken at fast value, isn't light speed. He does understand that light moves at a constant speed, which is the whole... like, that's the appeal of the speed of light. That's why it's always used in calculations, because it moves at a constant speed no matter what. And I understand, like, light... photons can, like, slow down slightly due to certain factors, but usually the speed of light is fair. So... you spam multipliers and get pretty damn high. It's not disingenuous at all. It's literally, like, Kubo would not put those numbers in the manga if he didn't want us to use them. Ichigo... oh, whoa, hey. Let's not say Ichigo beats Goku, alright? He's fighting some guy with subsonic attacks. You can't prove those attacks are subsonic, by the way. You'll never be able to prove that. Of course it's a fucking... I should not dox him like that. But of course it's a fucking One Piece PFP. So, thousands of times. Yeah, because that's what the fucking calc came out to. How the fuck do you get him to billions of trillions of times the speed of light? Like, how do people do that? Like, Ichigo's so, like, not Ichigo, my mistake. Saitama's so fucking stupid to scale. Because fucking, with speed, especially, AP, it's a lot more clear-cut. It's very basic, kind of. But with speed, like, every calc I look up, it's always a different value. Fucking, we got a new one. Cope harder, Saitama nakes that mountain-level character. Rapid here's another thing. How do people highball Saitama's growth this much? I don't think I'll ever be able to understand this. But yeah, hold on. Because we look up Saitama exponential growth. If we look that up, fucking... Like, look at this chart. This chart does not fucking, like, tell you that Saitama's becoming, like, billions of times stronger. It just doesn't. Like, if you were to map all of this out using, like, you know, like, reasonable assumptions, it'd be, like, a few times stronger. Or, like, maybe, like, 50 times stronger. You know, maybe 100 times, if you're generous. If I'm being completely honest with you. That mountain-level character. Crazy how I spent, like, 12 minutes in my video explaining why Ichigo is well above fucking mountain level. Creation is a hack style. It takes... I'm not fucking replying with this shit, but it takes energy to create things too. These, like, a lot of people were saying, oh, well, you can't scale Gremmy to his creation feat. And, like, why not? Do you understand how Bleach works, like, as a series? Okay, my bad. Ring my ear. It's really not that insane. I'm sorry, it just isn't. Like, unless someone's like, ah, that's a classic thing. But unless there's something people aren't telling me. Where is it? Yeah. Like, I've read the Cosmic Goro fight multiple times for these videos. And, like, they never tell us anything crazy like, oh, Saitama's becoming hundreds of thousands of times stronger or anything. Realistically speaking, like, honestly, I don't even think he is. Because the whole thing about it is, like, Saitama's just growing past his limits. Like, look, yeah, see? Like, fucking... Like, him and Garo... Like, he's a little stronger than Garo. He's a... Like, it's not exponential. It really isn't. Or maybe it is, because fucking exponential increases would get bigger with every new point, I suppose. But, like, if we're treating this graph as, like, power is the, I think it's the y-axis, and time is the x-axis, they're not even plotting down the right times. Like, this graph is kind of terrible when you look at it, honestly. So yeah, that's probably why no one can find a consistent number. Each punch gets him 3.333 repeating times stronger. Okay. Okay, if we grant him that, still wouldn't beat Ichigo. Still wouldn't be as fast as Ichigo. But, you know. Sure, I suppose. We can say that. Yeah, I already talked about that. Ichigo is not... His displayed feats of destruction payload, what? I already proved, fucking, is through statements. What is this, like, hate boner people have for, like, statements and scaling? Because, like, honestly, like, even then, if I'm being so for real, Ichigo does have feats and scaling that don't rely on statements. The Senjumaru feat is so solid, and people still try to downplay it for no reason. When's the new upload? Or what's the new upload schedule? Excuse me. It should be safe to open this, right? Yeah, okay. So, today's the second, right? Yesterday was the first. Bare minimum, I want to get a video out on the 1st and the 15th of every month. And maybe we'll do like weekly. Like I'll try to get one out on the 8th. And then the 15th, the 20th, the 29th. Thursday might be my day. But at least on the 15th. Bare minimum. So yeah. Where'd you get that 10 to the 59 number? Because I didn't include that in my video. Now this is facts. I'm very biased. Yeah. You would also have to use statements for Saitama. I bring up statements for Saitama. I brought up his infinite power statements. I brought up the fucking Garo thing. Like, Garo has, like, obtained all knowledge of the universe or whatever. I think we just have to accept the scope of... Holy fuckles. Okay, everyone. We got a big guy at the chat. You're a big guy now. This shit is so stupid. You're a big guy now. I hate that fucking clip because it's such a parody. Which, by the way, the new SpongeBob movie is fucking terrible. People online keep saying it's like okay or whatever. It's not. It's actually terrible. It's so bad. Let's see. What's up? Welcome back, my skibbity sigmas. And you too can be a skibbity sigma. Ka-chow. There we go. Actually, let's put that in. Let's put that somewhere where it won't be an issue. Down. I think we'll leave it at that size for now. But we're watching a video today, chat. Lonks takes. As much as I like Sonic music. I haven't watched a Lonk video in a while, because they don't... All respects to him. I've kinda... This one, right? Yeah. Total mismatch, if I can be honest. Like, even if I were to give Cell, like, his best scaling, still wouldn't be... Like, you would need to use, like, MCU Ultron exclusively or something, but even then. I'm not putting on Death Note music. So this is where the Cell scaling starts.
Still, that doesn't mean that there aren't issues with scaling Cell. When it comes to Dragon Ball villains, Cell might honestly, from a pure lore and ability standpoint, vary the most between the anime and manga continuity.
This is actually kind of true. The thing about Cell is that he's in a very awkward place between the Frieza saga and the Buu saga. The Buu saga is just, like, objectively universal. Like, there's no really... Like, the sheer amount of statements, honestly, and feats. Like, it's not even a statement thing at that point. It's a feats thing. So, honestly, at that point, it's like, you can't really deny it. And then you can backscale from that and get Cell to a similar level, even with his own, like, statements and feats, because he has a feat in the anime where he shakes the universe. And if you think the universe in Dragon Ball is infinite in size, then, yeah, that would be, like, a high universal feat. And then the issue is that also, in the original manga, he has very clear, like, solar system level statements, so it's all very... Yeah, he has statements in the manga, but they're not as consistent, and they get contradicted by the solar system argument. But with the anime, he has like actual feats that we can take, and he has statements outside of other characters. Like even the narrator kind of hypes him up and says he has like boundless power or something, with boundless just being like a synonym for infinite. So yeah.
Annuities. For example, if I asked you whose cells actually make up Cell, who would you say? Well,
This is actually a common misconception. I'm sorry I'm pausing so much, but I don't want to just like react to it and be like, oh yeah, I agreed with that. What? Check my DMs. Well, I'm doing something right now, so I'll worry about that later. Unless it's about my sister. That was a bad joke. Don't make jokes like me, gang. Oh, also, because some people fucking they keep saying fucking well fucking shaking something doesn't mean you can destroy it, blah 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 blah. If I shake a car, that's a bad argument, and you know why? Because if you look right here at the fucking versus battle wiki page for these tiers, says fucking right here. Fucking right here, right here. Yeah, here, look. That is to say they can significantly affect, create, and or destroy higher dimensional structures. And then characters, blah, 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 or affecting an infinite 3D space. Affecting. Okay, shaking is affecting. So I don't want to hear this fucking, oh, if I shake my car. Shut the fuck up. Okay, that's not how that works. Is your car infinitely large? Because if you shook an infinitely large car, then yeah, you would scale to the fucking car. Oh, okay, hold on. We got one more. Hold on. There is. Oh, yeah, hold on. We don't need this anymore. This is probably going to be a reacting day. And obviously, I should preface, don't take my little hissy fits at face value. Okay, I play myself up for the camera. Also, everyone is legally obligated to give Play Cooler like the biggest like fucking pat on the back. Okay, because he's the reason I've been able to eat these past few months. I wish I were joking. Boop. Beep. Welcome back, my skibbity sigmas. Here's the thing, right? I'm always usually like behind on the times. So like brain rot memes from 2024, 2023 are funny to me now. And there's jokes like beyond the jokes. There we are. Like I'm not just saying like skibbity sigma. I'm saying it because Kane says it in The Amazing Digital Circus. But yeah, let's get back to the video. Oh, also about this. Cell is made up of 5 people: Goku, Vegeta, Frieza, Piccolo, and King Cold, and that's it.
in the manga, Cell pretty clearly is only made up of the DNA of 5 people: Goku, Vegeta, Piccolo, King Cold, and Frieza. However, the anime kind of implies that far more Z fighters were added to the mix, as both Cell and the Cell Juniors for some reason are able to use the techniques of the human Z fighters, notably the Tri-Beam and the Destructo Disc, implying he has Krillin and Tien's DNA as well. Either way, in this sense, Cell is a bit of a potential man because there are multiple techniques he should be able to use, but just never uses. So for this video, we are not using a hypothetical Cell who maximizes his techniques. So
that is fair, because Cell, like honestly, like lore accurate Cell removed from the video. Lore accurate Cell would be like a character who can use the Kaioken, right? Just multiply his power by 20 whenever he wants, even higher. Because the Kaioken doesn't have a multiplier limit. It's a fucking however high. Hold on, what the fuck? Oh, Mastered Super Saiyan Gohan versus the Cell Jr. Fucking okay, let's see. It really depends on what you think. because Cell Juniors are as strong as Cell. Like, that's not really up for debate. Multiple guides, even the Daizenshu. Excuse me, goodness gracious. Even the Daizenshu says that, actually, we're taking a trip to Discord. Said no one ever. Come on, hurry the fuck up. There we are. Don't you forget, I won't forget. Let's see. Yeah. Yeah, Goku, Vegeta, and Frieza all know the Destructo Disc, or the Kienzan, but they don't know the Tri-Beam. And that's where the multi-form technique, even then, I don't remember if Goku had showed it off at that time, so people get kind of confused. They're like, well... But yeah, hold on. Yeah, so there are two interpretations mainly. This is from the Dragon Ball official website. The Cell Juniors have power equivalent to Vegeta or Trunks, probably in Super Saiyan Grade 2 or Grade 3. And then other sources like the Dragon Ball Z Dragon Book will say that their power isn't inferior to Cell. And so Battle Extraction 2, their power is equal to that of Vegeta. And then other guides will say that they're similar strength to Cell's. So you could interpret this one or two ways. So either Vegeta's stronger than we think. Because if you take all these statements at like face value, yeah, they're just as strong as Vegeta. If you take these at face value, that means Vegeta is as strong as Cell. Or one of these two statements is wrong. So he's either as strong as Vegeta or he's as strong as Cell. One of the two. Hey, be nice, everyone. Stop fighting on the swing set. But stop talking about my mother, or I'll just ban you, dog. I gotta be honest. Yeah. So here's a perfect example. This is the Daizenshu, power greater than Vegeta. Greatest Cells. Okay, yeah. So even the Daizenshu, equal to Vegeta and Trunks. Yeah. So no one can decide how strong the fucking Cell Juniors are. So I'll leave you with two interpretations. If you think they're as strong as Vegeta and Trunks, then don't mind that. But if you think they're as strong as Vegeta and Trunks, Cell, Gohan one-shots, and he might do so in base form, if we're being honest. But yeah. Number two, if you think they're as strong as Cell, it's probably going to be a lot harder for him to win. But he can still probably win.
So no giant form Kaioken Spirit Bomb or anything like that. With that understood, let's get into how actually strong he is. Even just in his imperfect form, before even absorbing the energy of a bunch of people, there are numerous outright statements and implications that Cell is on the level of, or already is slightly beyond the strength of Androids 17 and 18. Regardless of these implications though, by the time he does return to absorb Android 17, he's grown so powerful that Piccolo's attack, which would have outright killed 17,
Oh, I never actually saw that. Hold on, let me... I've actually never seen this scan before. Which have killed 17 on direct hit, yeah, so... Blah, blah, blah. No one cares. Get me the fucking... Because if they don't have it here, then I might need to harvest that scan, or I'll track it down or something. But, yeah. Damn, I don't think they have it. Huh, that's interesting. Alright, then. Yeah, okay, they don't have that. Alright. Let me... Actually, no. Let's theater mode this, and then, yeah, there we are. Okay, then. Naruto is substantially considered boundless. By who? Who is substantial in this? Because it's not me. It's not anyone else. Substantial usually means more than two people. Let's see. Do we want to just dump it? I'll just dump it here, and we'll see. If they're like, hey, this is fake, then I'll just be like, oh, my bad. But yeah.
Is literally incapable of doing damage to Cell. This already puts Imperfect Cell's strength well into the star ranges of power at worst, as there are already multiple one-shot differences between him and the likes of Frieza, who even in his first form could create massive star-sized explosions when destroying planets like...
I hear conflicting things about the Planet Vegeta bust. Frieza versus Battle Wiki. Who do you mean we? Who is you? This is clearly a you thing, my friend. Okay, yeah, so... Small star... Okay, yeah, so small star level in his first form. Casually destroyed Planet Vegeta. Alright. Excuse me. Do they change it for the Toei version? Or... Come on, hurry the fuck up. Okay, this is taking a while. Naruto is not stronger than Ichigo. Okay, let's stop lying. You know, maybe I could be silly and say like, oh, well, maybe, you know, if you think this. No, he's just not stronger than Ichigo. At least large star. Oh, wait, hold on. Oh, my bad. Because these... Oh, wait, no. Half the power of his second form casually destroyed Planet Vegeta. Statistics value. Dupe. Referred to in his blog for attack potency values. Dragon Ball Toei statistical rating. Don't you forget, I won't forget. How do they do the speed scaling for Dragon Ball characters? Yeah, how do they get these like hundreds of millions of C in value? I presume this is all... Yeah, so this is the statistics rating. Shut the fuck up. I swear to... Okay, there we go. Yeah. Mach 852. Fucking how? Destroys the moon. Okay, yeah, fair enough. Yeah, but like, what feats are you using? Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, how? How are you getting these numbers? How are these characters, like, already MFTL plus in the Cell Saga, or the Saiyan Saga? Like, they are. But how? How are you getting these hundreds of thousands of times faster than the speed of light numbers? It doesn't make any sense. Honestly, Ichigo might be stronger than that low multi. Because, like, in my video, right, I wanted to bring up some more stuff. And I just never got the chance to. But if I'm being for real, I think Ichigo's like a Goku level kind of. Like Battle of Gods at least. Probably stronger, if we're being honest. Like, okay. Hold on, because I figured out the multipliers for all this. So let's do a little experiment, right? So Ichigo... We'll say Ichigo's 5D with Dongai, right? Because he transcends Aizen, who transcends Shinigami and Hollow, blah, blah, blah. People will say, oh, well, transcendence can mean anything. They make it pretty clear it's referring to dimensional transcendence, like a three-dimensional being can't interact with a four-dimensional being, blah, blah, blah. Okay, you can't downscale with power levels, though, because that's inconsistent. Like, yes, I understand it's very silly to say Goku was, like like 100 or 1,000 times the speed of light. And then like he gets like slightly stronger, and he's like dodging meteors that are like trillions of times faster than the speed of light. I get it's silly, but that's how it works. You can't just backscale like that.
like Planet Vegeta. Multiplying off of power levels alone, Imperfect Cell should be capable of casually one-shotting large star level or even solar system level characters.
I presume he's just referring to like a hypothetical upscale from the fucking, but yeah, from power levels we have, because we don't have power levels after Super Saiyan Goku on Namek. We just don't. But yeah, we'll say Ichigo's a 1, right? And you know what, we'll say Ichigo and Battle of Gods Goku are a 1, right? Times that 10 for Bankai, 10 for Hollow Mask. Or he can't do Hollow Mask, or he can, but like yeah, times 10 for Bankai. Actually no, honestly even then, what was the times 20,000 times 10 for Bankai, and then he can increase it by 10 times 10 again for with the Ground Rice Arrow. So that's 100. That's 2 million, right? That's 2 million times into. Is that 100,000? Yeah, okay, that's 2 million. So Goku's a 1 times that by, because he absorbs Super Saiyan God into his base form, times that by 50, times that by 2 times 4 for Super Saiyan multipliers. Yeah, so yeah, Ichigo's pretty strong. And obviously this method is flawed. It's not perfect, but I think Ichigo's like at least like a Resurrection F kind of character.
This is somewhat consistent in the anime if you think Namek's explosion in this scene is actually as shown and not just for dramatic effect, which would already make Cell a multi-solar system level character even before absorbing Android 17. Once he does though, he would get massively stronger, gaining 17's power and abilities and then some. This would include the infinite.
There is, let me find it. There's a statement for Cell, and it comes from El Manga Legendario. It might be exclusive to the French version of El Manga. I'm gonna be honest. I don't like. Okay, so here's the Bleach cosmology, right? And I'll be simple about it. So you have the 3 realms. They're all infinite in size. Multiple statements. Hueco Mundo is stated to have infinite race shear sand. Here's the thing, right? Hueco Mundo isn't like a desert. It's a graveyard, basically, because the sand in that realm is leftover remains of the Hollows killed by the Soul King. So it's not like the term infinite isn't just like, oh well, it's pretty big. No, it's like an infinite graveyard for what the Soul King did. And then you have the world of the living. Ichigo calls it infinite. You have the Soul Society. The lowest layer of the Soul Society is the Mukin, which is infinite in size. Even if you don't want to say they're infinite, they're just like universes. That's still fine. It'd still be like a low multi-cosmology. You can argue that there's like an entire like multiverse, many worlds kind of bullshit, but we'll have to wait for the anime to see if that's actually like a real thing or if Yuha was kind of being like flowery with that. And then you have everything, right? You have hell, you have the Dongai, which is a hyperspace. Like the original Japanese kanji for the Dongai is a hyperspace. And then, like, that's what's connecting the realms, by the way. So if someone shakes the Dongai like Senjumaru did, like, they're just 4D. Like, they just are, I'm sorry. And then you have hell. Hell is kind of weird. It doesn't really get much focus in the main story. There's the final part of the hell, like, because there's more, obviously, but it doesn't really matter for this kind of cosmology breakdown. There's the Garganta, right? And the Garganta encompasses everything. You have a 4D cosmology, like bare minimum. You could even argue a 5D cosmology, but we'll say like a 4D cosmology. And then the Garganta encompasses all of that, like 5D Garganta, right? Because that's how dimensional barriers would work. And then the Soul King transcends that. And actually, there's even a statement confirming the 4th dimension, if I can find it. At last your check is cashed. I'd laugh at how you look so small. Don't you forget. Dan, 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 dan. Dan, 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 dan. Where is it? Because there's a boop. There's a statement. Yeah, here it is. This is from the Bleach data books. A statement confirming the existence of the fourth dimension in Bleach. So, yeah. The Garganta encompasses that. Soul King transcends that, according to the light novels. Soul King's like sixth dimensional. I'm going to be honest. If I wanted to, I'd say Ichigo's like an MUI Goku level opponent. If I want to be really silly. What question? Yeah, no. Saitama's not 5D. That's silly.
Energy generation battery, and 17's barrier technique. Even though this was clearly a big power-up, it is not enough to...
Right, I forgot. The whole point of us doing this. The whole point of this fucking detour was to track down that El Manga Legendario statement. Because there's a statement saying he got 10 times stronger. In El Manga Legendario. Blah, blah, blah. Don't care. This is really fucking boring. I could have already scrolled past it. I wouldn't even know. Let's see what chat is saying. Oh, wait, hold on. Ooh. All that is just 5D plus? Yeah. And then the Soul King transcends. Like it's stated in the light novels, the Soul King is an entity that transcends everything. Bare minimum, he scales to it. Like he's at least like he's at least Dragon Ball Super tier Ichigo. Because he's stronger than the Soul King, if I'm being completely honest. Like, the Prime Soul King, like, maybe Prime Soul King is still top 1 in the verse, but the final Getsuga Tensho is stated to be the strongest thing in the series, so it's stronger than Crippled Soul King. Yuha absorbs the Soul King. Aizen and Ichigo are both potential replacements for the Soul King. Oh, my fucking god. Don't you forget, I won't forget. This is fucking boring. Whatever, fuck you. Take my word for it. There's a guy that says that.
To suddenly call Cell a galaxy buster, simply because the difference between multi-solar system level and galaxy level is a gap of over 500 million.
This is true. I'm glad someone finally brought attention to it, because people will say, oh, well, you know, you have like a solar system level character, and we have another guy who's a little stronger, so he must be like galaxy level. And that was a lot of comments I got on my Saitama in Dragon Ball video. I'd say like, oh, Saitama's planetary because he upscales so-and-so. And they're like, nuh-uh, Saitama's fucking galaxy level because he upscales Boros. I like Saitama is galaxy level, like, at least. But that's for different reasons than just, oh, fucking... He one-shot Boros. He's multi-solar system tier. Damn, there's a lot of information on Cell. You know, fuck it. I could just look up the... I'm losing my fucking mind. 10. Boop. Oh. Maybe French. Debate you. Oh, motherfucker. Maybe... Manga. Damn. And there's still fucking more. God, fuck this. Hold on. Cell got 10 times stronger. Because Detbird made a short about this. He doesn't transcend real life. I didn't say he did. I said he transcends the cosmology of Bleach. Okay, well, everything's just completely fucked. So, well.
Million times, something you frankly cannot justify from anything here, at least. The same mostly goes for Cell's transformation into perfect and later on super perfect Cell. Just from multipliers and power differences alone, it is not reasonable to say Cell reached galaxy level. However, using statements and guides, we can actually get perfect Cell a little bit higher. As we all know, super...
And yet, even Monster Aizen... Okay, so here's the thing about Monster Aizen hurting Dangai Ichigo, right? Characters in Bleach do this a lot. They will let someone hurt them to show the difference in power. Ukiura does this to Ichigo. Grimmjow does this to Ichigo, I'm pretty sure. It happens to Ichigo a lot. Kenpachi lets him get a hit in, and it doesn't even go through because his spiritual pressure is too great. So what Ichigo did there, because Aizen says himself, I have the manga. Bleach manga online read, yeah. Boop. Is it this one, or is this the one with the bad? Yeah, here it is, yeah, so. Because Aizen says, unless he allows it, someone of a lower dimension cannot touch him. I'm just taking a random guess. Yeah, it's here. It's here, so. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, so it's the next chapter, probably. Yeah. The chapter title is even called Transcendent God Rock. But yeah, look, Ichigo. Aizen evolves, and Ichigo unleashes the final Getsuga Tensho, right? So this is where people are like, oh well, look at that, Monster Aizen was able to hurt Ichigo, guys. Fucking, but if you read ahead, I said read ahead. Sorry, if you read ahead, right? Aizen says, right. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, very nice, Ichigo. I'm very glad you got... Yeah, okay, here it is. Final Getsuga Tensho. Unless I purposefully lower my level to allow myself to be interfered with, my spirit energy could not be sensed by Soul Reapers or humans, right? So, what Ichigo did when he let Aizen hurt him, because he did let Aizen hurt him, he was showing Aizen the difference in their power. Because Aizen's kind of delusional initially. He's like, oh, well... you gave up fighting with your spirit energy. You relinquished your spiritual pressure in exchange for heightened physical abilities. So Aizen's kind of coping right now, right? He's like, you can't be stronger than me just in terms of like spiritual energy. It's just not possible. So what must have happened is you traded all of that for like just to get like really strong. And then Ichigo catches his attacks, right? Because here's the thing. When Ichigo doesn't let Aizen hurt him, right? Because Aizen unleashes Hado 90. It's one of the strongest Hado techniques. Ichigo's unfazed. It doesn't even hurt him. There's no scratches on him or anything. You read ahead, Aizen evolves. Reminder, the fucking Hado 90 can like warp time and space on the atomic level, like a Gojo Hollow Purple. And then, he lets Aizen hurt him. Like, Aizen evolves into Monster Aizen. He hurts him a little bit. I presume that's what people are talking about. And then, Ichigo unleashes the final Getsuga Tensho. Because he's like, okay, Aizen's just going to keep evolving. And then, we get the statement where Aizen says, unless I let myself, I can't be hurt by other people. Basically. What does femmarkable mean? It just means I'm a girl. No. I don't know.
Super Perfect Cell states that he has enough power to blow away the entire solar system. A statement backed up by multiple guides, which all agree that Cell was gonna blow up the solar system in this scene if he hadn't been stopped by Gohan. Now, compared to what we just talked about, this doesn't help Cell scaling at all because he's already pretty casually a solar system buster. However, some guides imply that the solar systems in Dragon Ball are actually galactic nebulae.
Yeah. This statement, according to Herms anyway, Herms is a popular translator for Dragon Ball, but apparently this is a mistranslation. So, yeah. You guys should play nice in chat or whatever. Like, be nice to each other.
Nebula that contain within it multiple stars. If this is true, this might explain what Cell was talking about, and that in fact he's actually a galaxy buster in power and was just talking about the solar system, which is simply that large. However, beyond even his galaxy level scaling, there are a handful of statements across the manga, but even more so in the anime, that describes Cell as a being with infinite battle power who—
Yeah, here he is, yeah. I closed the Discord. Okay, fuck this. I don't need you. I don't need you guys. And I don't need you. We're going on a trick to Discord land again, children. Mistranslation? The fuck are you talking about, dog? People always say, oh, it's a mistranslation. And then I go out of my way to find the original Japanese kanji. And then they're like, oh, wait, hold on. Oh, we got a new guy, yeah, so. Remember to read the fucking rules. Fucking, yeah, so. Don't you forget. What the fuck was I looking for? Oh, yeah, the fucking, yeah, so. Lonk is going to cover it, obviously, but yeah.
Threatens the entire universe. Now, if these are to be taken literally, then Cell at his pinnacle would be high universal to infinite 3D in power. When it comes to abilities,
That fucking someone play the Chai Tea meme. Fucking a high universal to infinite 3D. Those you just said infinite power twice. Don't listen to the solar guy. He's rage baiting.
we already began to talk about them, but Cell is repeatedly stated to be a perfect fighter. Essentially, besides those who can use the techniques of the gods, Cell is still one of the most skilled warriors to exist in Dragon Ball canon. Bolstered by his regeneration, which allows him to come back from a single cell, and key abilities of nearly every relevant fighter of his era, it's safe to say that defeating Cell is no easy task. So, let's see if
Interestingly, he did not cover the speed scaling for Cell. Gotta be honest, I don't like Marvel scaling. I don't want to watch this, but I was paid to. So.
Ultron is up for it. Now, when it comes to Marvel characters, Ultron is one of the most interesting to cover because over his history, he has gone through clearly established new incarnations and versions, ones that usually build upon the previous and become stronger. Initially, Ultron started with numerical titles, going from Ultron 1 to about 17, before kind of dropping that naming scheme entirely while continuing to evolve. Since then, Ultron has been an alien emperor, a woman, a cyborg fused with his—
Man, I wish that could be me.
Creator Hank Pym, and even the All-Father of Norse mythology. Consistently across all these versions is that Ultron is almost never a threat that can be handled by just one hero. Across his history, multiple different versions of Ultron have taken down entire teams of Avengers that—
Yeah, I know. Goku is low galaxy level. It's pretty silly, but... Oh goodness. Obvious rage bait is obvious. I said something really stupid, and people got mad at me. This is why I'm literally Elon Musk.
at once, and usually they don't even win by overpowering him and his adamantium metal body, beating him by using things outside the box, like anti-metal or viruses or whatnot. For those who don't remember, adamantium is the same thing that Wolverine's bones are made out of, and in pretty much every instance are treated as unbreakable and indestructible. Along with all of Ultron's feats, his most impressive showing are taking on some of the iconic heavy hitters of Marvel. He's beaten Thor multiple times, even when Thor had backup, pretty easily beat Sentry in a one-on-one, even when he was seemingly tapping into the void, and literally off-screened Silver Surfer so hard that Lifebringer Galactus needed to step in.
None of this means anything to me. I hope you guys know that. Have you watched Atari yet? What do you mean, Atari? I've seen Atari, like the video game company.
Which does somewhat show a cap on his apparent power. For now though, as Sentry has recently gotten popular due to the Thunderbolts, let's quickly cover his scaling, understanding that an old, inferior version of Ultron was able to take him down as an absolute lowball. Sentry is repeatedly stated to have the power of 1,000 or 1,000,000 exploding suns. This, as a baseline, would already be multi-solar system level in power, as in Marvel Comics, star explosions are actually far larger than their real-life counterparts, with this statement by itself getting Sentry to galaxy level in power. Beyond this, though, when asked directly, the literal creator
Loki to destroy a universe and now. A sort of nuclear danger. Okay, yeah, sure. Yeah, buddy.
Of the Sentry outright said that Bob is at least a universe buster in power, but Sentry is consistently in the tier of power alongside the likes of Hulk and Thor, with Thor having, frankly, so many bare minimum complex multiversal feats and statements across multiple decades of comics, it's kind of ridiculous. Even if you think the Sentry for some reason doesn't scale to Thor, that's fine, because Ultron definitely scales to Thor. Even beyond this, especially in alternate timelines, Ultron has beaten numerous other characters in this level of strength, like Hulk and Doctor Doom, who he beat so bad he literally just took his whole outfit for fun. As for hacks, Ultron pretty much has every tech power you can think.
Yeah, so you can kind of see the issue when trying to compare like Dragon Ball characters to Marvel characters. You would need like a Dragon Ball Super kind of character, maybe even higher, maybe like a Super Dragon Ball Heroes character to really fight Marvel characters. And I'm gonna be honest, even if you use like N to Z Goku, you know, you still got like the high tiers and the top tiers and the god tiers. Like, this is why I don't like Marvel scaling, if I can be honest. It's just not fun. I approach scaling from like the perspective of like what would be fun, right? Like Ichigo versus Saitama. Oh, that sounds fun. I got a little sneak peek for you guys, actually. But my next video, I was like, yeah, that sounds fun. But yeah.
Think of most kinds of energy and matter manipulations down to the atomic level is almost
down to the atomic level. Gojo victim. Guys, we got a Gojo victim.
Always made out of non-breakable metal, and especially recently is one of the smartest characters in the entire Marvel universe. So, is it time for a Cell game or an Age of Ultron?
Actually, no, I can't say anything. I was about to say that's so corny, but it went kind of hard, I'm not gonna lie.
If the Ultron section of this video didn't make it clear, Cell is simply not up to par. Even the lowest end scales for the likes of Sentry and Ultron Victim are already equal to or higher than pretty much the highest possible scales for Perfect Cell. Add in the fact that Ultron is smarter, has more
yeah, so really you would need like, I know, honestly, you'd probably need to like really be generous to Cell. You need to use like Garlic Jr.'s hyperspace. You need to use that like maximum interpretation. You would need to say like Frieza is, let's see, you'd need to say Frieza transcends that based on statements. And then you'd have to say Cell transcends that based on statements, and you can get Cell to like sixth dimensional. That's really the only thing you'd be able to do there, and then you can downplay. Excuse me. You can downplay Marvel and yeah. But if you're just going like baseline interpretation to baseline interpretation. So yeah. This was a good video. I've kind of said some mean things about Lonk before. But this was a good video. I liked it. Not enough to like the video, but I liked it. It was a good video. Ugh. Ugh.
Oh no.
Oh, we gotta. The new. Guys, SpongeBob is not a big guy. SpongeBob is not a big guy now.
So the early box office numbers for the SpongeBob movie Search for SquarePants are in, and they're not looking great. $38 million domestically and $25 million internationally, with a grand total so far of about $64 million. That's right around Search for SquarePants' budget, but that doesn't mean Paramount has broken even yet. When you factor in all the marketing and extra miscellaneous costs, the movie needs to make somewhere around this range.
Damn, okay. It's a SpongeBob movie, though, right? How long has it been in theaters? Yeah, December 19th. Yeah, so it has time. Or actually, no, because this is when... If we look at the fucking box office... Hold on, there's a website for this box office. Looks like... Yeah. Yeah, SpongeBob's a little... This is so fucking stupid. But yeah, there's all releases, title summary. Yeah, so I think we can look at the... Yeah, okay, so domestic. Yeah, we can track the daily intake for the film. It seems to be consistently kind of... This is outdated, actually. This is horrifically outdated. Because it's not December 28th anymore. But I suppose these things take time, so... But yeah, you can see 6 million, 5 million, 4 million, 2 million. There's a little increase there, 3 million. Hard drop, massive up, and then it's just kind of... So past 4 days, it's been pretty consistently making like $3 million, so maybe it'll... It's been 2 weeks. Atari HMB? Who the fuck is that? Who are these people that you people tell me to watch? Oh, this guy. Oh wait, I've been here before, haven't I? Yeah, I've been here before. I keep telling you guys I don't like him. Like every time you're like, "Oh, watch this guy." No. Trans. like these videos are not for me. There's like, I'm sorry, like, I don't want to be mean. I don't like being mean. But I don't have any opinion on that, so. No, it doesn't. Saitama does not beat Ichigo. I made a whole video on why that's literally impossible. Maybe the best you could do is say, like, because honestly, the only way... Watch this video, by the way. The only way that Ichigo doesn't beat Saitama is if you just ignore things for Ichigo. You need to purposely ignore or downplay feats. You need to ignore all the context. You need to ignore everything and just say... You just need to make things up, basically. So, yeah.
range to be considered a decent performance. And while that might happen over the next few weeks in theaters, this is still underwhelming for a SpongeBob movie.
I mean, what did they expect? They made a bad movie. Like, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. They made a bad movie, dog. Like, who likes SpongeBob anymore? Because we all love, like, OG SpongeBob. You know, everyone loves, like, everyone loves fucking SpongeBob from back in the day, but clearly they are not liking this. And I don't even think you can really say, like, oh, well, it wasn't released in a certain market. Because that's what some people will say, like, oh, it wasn't released in China yet. Actually, was it released in China? Huh. Oh, wait, no. Asia Pacific. Huh. It wasn't released in China. Interesting. Well, yeah. Sucks to suck. I don't know. Maybe make a good movie. There we are. My brother got this fucking cube thing, and it looks like the prison realm from JJK, and now I'm just like, I'm holding it. It's cool. I like it. Anyway, yeah, that was my tirade. Superman from the DCAU versus Thrag. Let me check real quick. The versus battle wiki isn't perfect, but it's like a low ball. It's like this character should be at least that strong. FTL. Stop seeing sad. There we are. Small city to star level. FTL. It's not looking that good. If I remember correctly, Goji made a video about DCU Superman, or DCAU. DCAU Superman. Hold on. I'll put you in watch later. We might come back to that. DCAU Superman. Character stats and profiles. When versus battle fails, always look at character stats and profiles. Oof. Okay, yeah. No, that's not much better. Go away. Star level. Yeah. Oof. Thrag might take this, guys. Oh, hello. Welcome back. Don. I'm gonna be honest. Go away. These fucking ads. Likely to see. Okay. Most powerful leaguer. Unlimited power. Oh, wait. Hold on. Is this? Oh, yeah. Meme Lord Gamer Trap. Okay, yeah. Superman slams the brakes off of... Yeah. Yeah, so Superman slams Thrag. Even DCAU version, so... Because Meme Lord Gamer Trap is always right. If you ever need scaling for anyone, check if Meme Lord Gamer Trap made a page about them on the... Go away. On the character stats and profiles wiki. Because he's usually right.
We're talking about one of the most popular cartoon characters ever. His other theatrical releases did much better. So what happened? Why aren't general audiences interested in Search for SquarePants? Well, for one,
I'm gonna be honest, I didn't even know this movie existed until like a week before it was supposed to come out, so that's probably one of the things. It wasn't advertised very well. If you think Saitama Solo's all of fiction, I don't know, I think you're kind of smooth brain. I have not seen Story Thieves yet. Sorry, I've been busy. No, I don't agree with 8D, 9D, Granola Arc. I think it's like, okay, so you have, I think the macrocosm is 5D. I think the macrocosm is 5D. MUI Goku transcends that, 6D. This is only in the anime. The manga doesn't have these statements. And then you can argue the cosmology to be higher or lower, but honestly, I don't like that too much. You can argue the living room, not the living room, the fuck. The living realm is like 4D based on having various pocket dimensions and stuff. That would make Otherworld 5D. That would make the macrocosm 6D. MUI Goku transcends that, which is 7D, but even that's still not enough to scale. It's like 8D, 9D. I just think it's like too much of too much of a highball. Like, you can thread the pieces together, but there's a bunch of other information that you aren't taking into account.
One, Paramount's marketing kinda sucked. The world had no idea this movie even existed until like a month before its release. After the first teasers and trailers, SpongeBob was seen on every—
I didn't need to see that. I didn't need to see that. Oh, shit. Wait a minute, what the fuck? Okay, guys, once again, we have to give I Play Cooler his massive W's. Oh yeah, the super dimensional space in the Broly movie, that just transcends the cosmology. Like, at best, that would also be like a 5D, 6, or like a 6D. We'll do 6D. It'll be like a 6D area, so. Honestly, even that, it's still not great. I won't forget, you are my pet, yours since we met. I stay the fuck. I say when to sit and stay, play. Like, how long have we been doing this for? A little over an hour, okay. I got time. Boop. I feel like the only way to make it up to I Play Cooler is to make more videos. So, actually, yeah, I'll give you guys the sneak peek right now. Sigma, Sigma boy, Sigma boy, Sigma boy. God, I'm brain rotted. I close my eyes and all I see is fucking tongue Sahir. There we are. You know, surely. Nah, never mind. I won't say anything. Canva. Right. I meant to say. There's a fucking play nice, kids. Fucking hell. But yeah. There's a, I wanted to say, Ichigo and Aizen versus Dante and Virgil. I think Aizen slams both of them on his own. And, like, there's a really good video from, I don't know how you guys feel about him. Aizen, Seth. Obviously, people have their opinions on Seth. But this video is really good. And, like, if you need to, like, if you need to turn on, like, ad blocker or something, do it. This video is very good. It explains in depth why Aizen is so dangerous. Like this moniker here, like 99.9% of fiction. It's not even that much of an exaggeration. But yeah. This is the sneak peek for the video. And I thought of this, I was like, man, the League of Villains versus, like, the Espada sounds cool. But I just did a Bleach video, so I was like, who's the next guy? And I was like, of course, the fucking Akatsuki. I was like, yeah, this is a good idea. Yeah, I know. Crazy how... Actually, no, I won't talk about it. From a purely Virgil one-taps Bleach, with what scaling? The best scaling for Dante, for DMC, is like low multiversal, dog. Like, there's that one cut statement that's like, oh, this sword is ninth dimensional. Not even in the game. It was cut. It's not even real. It's fake. People are like, oh, well, if you use the manga, yeah, if you use alternate continuities, sure, maybe. But fucking, even then, I'd still say Aizen fucking, like, slams his... does unpleasant things to his body. $12D, 11D, 12D Sonic. I'm gonna be honest, I have Sonic way higher than that, thanks to the Archie book. Because, obviously, Archie Sonic and Game Sonic are two different characters, right? But Archie Sonic is a part of the multiverse that Game Sonic exists in. Like, that's just objective. That's not even, like, me, like, pulling anything out of my ass or anything. That's just literally objectively stated by people at Sega, via scale, sharing the same cosmology as, like, the Sonic Boom show and comics. Yeah. Yeah, Archie isn't canon per se to the main story, but it does take place in the same multiverse. High Outer DMC. Yeah, that doesn't exist. I'm sorry. It's just not real.
Every store shelf and promotion, but that was only a short period of time. Also, a lot of the marketing was focused on butts and potty humor, which isn't an accurate depiction of what the movie is.
The underworld.
Underwear? Underwear.
I went in with low expectations because of these teasers, and the movie was slightly better than I expected. Now, another major factor contributing to the disappointing box office is heavy competition. Releasing on the same day as SpongeBob was Avatar Fire and Ash, which is probably going to make 100 billion.
Oh, yeah. Let me tell you a story, children. Never release your movie on the same day a big blockbuster is coming out. No matter what you think, right? Because this is something we've seen before. Back in 2015, Alvin and the Chipmunks released their fourth movie, Road Chipped, on the same day as Aizen doesn't get past solar system. Do you suck at power scaling? Genuine question. Because, like, I feel like you don't understand what you're talking about. If you want, just watch my video. Watch my video on Aizen, or on Ichigo versus Saitama. Because Aizen scales to all of that. Aizen's debatably stronger than Ichigo. But that's a different conversation. Gojo is planetary, by the way. Like, just objectively. Like, honestly, at this point, I'm kind of done playing, like, maybe if you think this. Gojo's just objectively planetary. Like, there's no... I'm not really, like, here to, like, play with the fucking balls of it or anything, but... Anyway, yeah, Kid Boo's the strongest Boo. People say, oh, well, Goku was fighting him, so he can't be the strongest Boo. But, like, there's a lot of context, especially in the anime. Goku gets way stronger in the anime after defusing from Vegito. People are like, oh, well, that's not how fusion works. Toriyama literally says that fusions give the fusees a power boost after. So that's... Toriyama said that. If you think Archie Sonic is high outer versatile to boundless, that's perfectly fine. And then Game Sonic would honestly just upscale that. Thanks to Solaris transcending the cosmology. Yeah. Can Aizen outsmart Murphy's Law? Dude, Murphy's Law was all a part of Aizen's plan. Like honestly, like Murphy's Law was all Like, this video, this stream was all a part of Aizen's plan. Their verse is multiversal. It's called looking at feats, dog. It's called watching the series.
$1 trillion. It also didn't help that Zootopia 2 is still playing in theaters. But at the end of the day, the SpongeBob movie search...
All right, that's what I said. So, never release a movie, no matter how big your IP is, right? Never release it on the same day as like a multi-billion-dollar franchise, right? So, in 2015, Alvin and the Chipmunks released The Road Chipped, the 4th movie, on the same day as Star Wars: The Force Awakens was coming out. The same day. I'm not even joking. Aizen versus Dexter. Dexter. Dude, Aizen slams, dog. If I can be honest, I think Aizen beats Goku. Like Dragon Ball Super Goku, I think Aizen beats him, just like flat out. I don't even think it's up for debate. I think Aizen beats a lot of characters that are stronger than him. I think Aizen beats, like, even, like, if you brought up, like, a comic book character, like, we'll bring up, like, Ghost Rider, for example. I think Aizen could beat him, if I'm being completely honest. But, yeah.
For SquarePants will probably end its run breaking even or making a small profit, but Paramount was hoping for more. What do you think about the
Yeah, I don't think it's because here's the thing, right? There's a phenomena with Disney Plus where people say like Bleach doesn't get past Galaxy level. Prove that. Actually, I have objective proof that this is wrong. Because if you go to Grammy, where's the Battle Wiki? Grammy creates a portion of outer space with a galaxy in it. People are like, oh, it's just a creation hex. It doesn't scale. That's ignoring how the series works, dog. Oh my god, fuck off, I don't care. There we are. Repeatedly confirmed multiple times. Look at this, is taking a while. Yeah, so, look. This is the official colored Bleach manga, right? That's a galaxy. Like, at least that. And that might be a galaxy, too. There might be multiple galaxies here. But at least that's a galaxy. And look, there's guides that agree with it. There's, this is the series director of the 1,000-Year Blood War anime. He agrees with it. I remember there were more statements. Like, right here specifically. Where'd they all go? Whatever, don't care. But, yeah. Oh, and that scales in the galaxy level? Yeah, and you know how many times Ichigo upscales that? Literally tens of thousands of times. And it's not even an exaggeration either. He just does objectively. Yeah, Bleach lowballed is objectively multiversal. Yeah, it is. Oh wait, no. I have to do something. It was Godzilla versus someone, right? Who was I supposed to watch? Godzilla versus Galactus. Okay, yeah. Why you struggle to do 100 push-ups? I don't know. Probably for the same reason I don't struggle to fuck your dad. It wasn't that funny. I don't know why I laughed like that. That wasn't even funny. Everyone give Cheesy Plays 529 some good props. Give him a round of applause. Spam him with W's. Do that. So fodder Ichigo caps a galaxy level. Squad 0, dog. Squad 0 shaking the 3 realms is just objectively low multiversal. It's not even up for debate, I have to be honest. Like people say, oh, well, you know, shaking the universe doesn't mean you scale to it. But no, it's made very clear based on the standards for scaling. You just do scaled. Excuse me. I already covered this. Why the fuck do I need? I'm not explaining myself again. Okay. It's a matter of reading, fucking reading comprehension at that point. Thank you very much, Mr. Cheesy Mold Plays. I do appreciate it. Based Sigma number 4. Do 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 do. I do 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 do. Oh wait, no, it is this one. Do you think I made the Saitama fanboys with mad with the fucking thumbnail? I hope so. That'd be funny. I'd laugh. I'd have a good hearty chuckle. It's only multi-solar. Do I need the fucking... Where is it? Boop, 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 boop. Tier system. Boop. Because here's the thing. The realms in Bleach are infinite in size. They just are. Like, I'm sorry. If, like, you're fucking, like, your mind's blown. They're infinite in size. Stated so many fucking times. But look, right here. See? That is to say they can significantly affect... That can significantly affect, create or destroy small multiverses comprised of 2 to 1,000 separate space-time continuums. And the realms in Bleach are separate space-time continuums. In fact, there's even a statement from, like, one of the smartest characters in Bleach, right? I swear if someone brings up that fucking car example again, I'm gonna fucking... Oh my god. Because that car example is so fucking stupid. If your car was infinite in size, then yeah, you would scale to it, just objectively. But yeah, there's a... Yeah, see? Here. Separate space-time continuums, baby. And there's actually a statement. I'd like to get the actual statement, but... Yeah, here it is. There's just an objective statement from the anime. Versus Battle Wiki has them at galaxy level. Maybe because Versus Battle Wiki is stupid. You know? And that's a lie. Even that's a lie. You're just lying to me at that point, because if we go to his little post-time skip... Here's the statement, by the way. I don't care if you two vanish into the space-time continuum. And this guy's the 3rd smartest character in Bleach, okay? Behind Aizen and Urahara. He's the 3rd smartest guy. Look, multi-galaxy level. And even, like, merged hollow form, look. At least multi-galaxy. Even higher. Far higher. Far higher. And if you look up Yuha... The omnipotent Quincy... Look at Dante's scaling. Here's the difference, right? Dante's page on the Versus Battle Wiki is accurate because that's all there is. Yuha's page, like, look at this shit. Look at this shit. Universe level, possibly universal plus. Yeah, so. Even then, they're just objective feats, like my guy. You need to stop coping. Anyway. Do you think Reed Richards would be unaffected by Gojo's Unlimited Void? Let's see. I don't know too much about comics, unfortunately. The thing about Unlimited Void is that it doesn't deposit infinite information into your mind. It deposits a series of a set amount of information into your mind, and it will then exaggerate and stretch this information out. So, like, in 0.2 seconds, 6 months of information is deposited into your brain. And Unlimited Void will then stretch this information out and make it appear infinite in your psyche. So, from what I've heard, Reed Richards would probably deal with that. Go to any edit. Dog, you are such a fucking sheep. I'm sorry. I hate to say it. You are such a spineless bastard. That was mean. That was mean even for me. I'm sorry.
Ralph, I gotta ask the burning question. Galactus or Godzilla? Who's your money on in that big fight?
I'm obviously going to say Galactus. I have extra powers. Godzilla's just got fire and size.
Ugh. What was I doing? Oh, yeah. I remember now.
Godzilla vs. Galactus is one of those matchups that at first glance might seem a little insane, but while yes, it is insane, it's also super, super cool. Firstly, you've got Galactus, the god who eats planets to sustain his immeasurable power. And you've got Godzilla, the king of the monsters, arguably a god slayer in his own right. Countless times throughout this franchise, we've seen gods or higher dimensional beings try to press Godzilla only for him to be like, no. He's not exactly a superhero, but if you try to destroy his turf, you better be prepared for a fight, and a fight we've got today, as I'm actually going to go over the various versions of Godzilla and Galactus to see who wins more times than not. With Godzilla making his run in the canon comics universe at this particular moment in time, and the Fantastic Four opening in theaters today, I felt like this was the perfect time to explore this concept.
Something action. Of course, dig deeper. No, I don't think I will. I will not dig deeper for mid-scaling. But anyway, anyone ever feel kind of like it's weird? Actually, hold on. What the fuck? What is this? Okay, no, yeah, we're fine.
So we're going to have 3 rounds. Firstly, I'm going to go over each film iteration, each game iteration, and then we'll wrap it up to talk about comic book scaling. So
anyway,
I'm doing this so you get a real good feel for each.
Oh, wait, hold on. What was?
Firstly, I'm going to go over each film iteration, each game iteration.
Okay, yeah. So this might be interesting, actually. So I'll just do the movies and the films, or the movies and the comics. I don't care too much about games, honestly.
And then we'll wrap it up to talk about comic book scaling. Conclusion. But if that sounds interesting to you, then I would implore you, be sure to load to find out.
Oh, fuck! I wanted to. Whatever. No, well, I'll save it for later.
One thing that's consistent throughout all the versions of the Galactus is his motive, being that he has to eat planets in order to sustain his power. This is something that obviously scales to the live-action version shown in the second Fantastic Four film, so he gets planetary as a baseline. For some consistency in this range of power, his avatar is seen like relative to the size of planets. He eats the planet Saturn on the way to Earth.
Oh, that's cool. Something that fuck. Dante has outerversal scaling. Where? No, he doesn't. He just doesn't, dog. I gotta stop being mean. It's not funny.
In the novelization, it's confirmed that he also eats stars. And
oh yeah. The novelizations for Marvel movies in the early 2000s always gave the most insane upscales for no reason. But yeah.
Silver Surfer, a character who's gotten his powers from Galactus, has beams potent enough to destroy planets, so it's safe to say that Galactus off-rip would be into those planetary to star level ranges. You could even argue like large star to solar system level, seeing as how the novelization makes point that he's able to consume the power and energy of these celestial bodies. And the novel already says he's eating multiple stars, so I don't think that's too far off a possibility. But we can get even higher ends of scaling, as once again, we're gonna have to dive into the fact that the Silver Surfer got his power.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny. Galactus wins because he's galaxy level, because his name is a pun on Galaxy Galactus. Oh, that's funny. I like that. That's funny. I like that.
Our cosmic from Galactus.
Here's the thing. Actually, no. You know what? Fuck it. Here's the tiering system, right? We can just look up what outerversal means. Characters whose power is on the level of a von Neumann universe. That is, they encompass or can affect structures which encompass the collection of all possible dimensional spaces. Here's the thing. That doesn't exist in Devil May Cry. That just does not exist. That's just not real. As a general rule of statements of being above dimensions and the like are superiority, blah blah blah. Yeah, that doesn't exist. In fact, Dante. We'll look at character stats and profiles. Hey, be nice to Vile. Be nice to Vile. He's my bud. Yeah, likely to see. Yeah, so multi-universal. That's not a real thing. At least universal plus. Yeah, so yeah, that doesn't have it. What, you want me to like pull up some like obscure manga from 2009 that isn't even canon? Get out of here, dog.
Galactus, with the power cosmic being a source of energy state to be, immeasurable and uncalculable multiple times, and seeing as how infinite energy on a third dimensional scale is power that.
Well, if we're just gonna give people these statements, how can I make this about Jujutsu Kaisen? Nah, don't listen to me.
That we like to classify into those high universal level ranges. Meaning if you take these statements about the power cosmic super seriously, then Galactus would more than likely be a universal character. As for his speed, it's, visually apparent that he's able to fly throughout the universe at fairly, convenient speeds, granting him MFTL Plus as a baseline, to be honest. This is consistent with the fact that the board that the Silver Surfer, flies on is stated to be able to fly at speeds that exceed the speed of light. Meaning that the OG Galactus from the Fox continuity would be at worst a planetary to star level character, with them possibly getting into those cosmic level ranges depending on how you view and interpret some of the lore. And as for his speed, he should be faster than the speed of light. That's kind of just a baseline. So with that being said, let's go over some of the cinematic versions of the King of the Monsters. Godzilla's
so far, from what he's shown, he's probably gonna need like a kind of like a universal Godzilla. Like he needs like at least Showa era Godzilla, but even that might not be enough. Heisei Godzilla definitely. He's gonna bring up Heisei Godzilla, but Showa era Godzilla maybe. There's some higher interpretations of other versions of Godzilla that kind of suck, honestly. No, that scaling's pretty trash, but they exist.
He's a character who fluctuates in terms of his stats depending on which version of the character you got. Some barely get to city level, and yet others that can destroy planets. So in that way, he's a lot different from Galactus, who kind of gets planetary as a baseline. But using cinematic Galactus as our opponent, and using the quantifiable ends, there are many Godzillas that could potentially defeat him. Such as Godzilla from vs. Megaguirus, who survived being shot with the Dimension Tide, a literal black hole straight to his face, and he walked out unscathed. You got Godzilla Earth, who could kind of box with the avatar of extra-dimensional beings, as well as destroy said beings' black holes. And you even got fan favorites such as Final Wars Godzilla and Monsterverse Godzilla, who easily find themselves to be in the planetary range at this point in time. So if Galactus caps at planet to large star level, I would go with probably Megaguirus Godzilla or Earth Godzilla due to their black hole showings. But seeing as how Galactus is more than likely a universal character even in the Fox continuity, like we went over the power cosmic stuff, but
Blah blah blah, yap. Ugh. This video isn't bad. I have severe ADHD. Monsterverse over Heisei Godzilla is crazy. How do you scale black flashes? There's someone in the Discord server, which you can join, by the way. You should join the Discord, but there's someone in the Discord server that knows that better than me. Essentially, you need to translate the energy in joules to a universal energy system, if I remember correctly. And then you just use a 2.5 exponent. But if you join the Discord, there's someone in there with much more knowledge on that than I do. So, yeah. Yeah, exactly. Marvel characters in the movies are like, oh, let's... we could destroy like a building and like let's stop a Ferris wheel from falling down. And then you read the novelization, it's like Jean Grey created a light that was brighter than the Big Bang, which gets to multi-galaxy level. She could destroy the planet on the subatomic scale, which is a small star level feat. You have Wolverine and his claws, which are essentially Duraneg, but and then you got Cyclops' eyes are like fucking like his optic blasts are light speed. Fucking this shit is so dumb. It's fun though. That's what I like. I like when power scaling is a little silly. Naruto is weak. I mean, Naruto is weak, but yeah. Back in the day, even now actually, movies will get like little novelizations that they'll put out based on some older versions of the script. Someone will like write up a rough novelization and they'll throw it in bookstores and stuff so people can buy it. They usually have some pretty juicy upscales. So if you ever, honestly, like this is just a flat kind of like overall all around. If your verse, like if you need your verse to get stronger, see if they have any like books. Like light novels usually have upscales. Novelizations have massive upscales most of the time. Yeah.
But I also found a statement that said that Galactus' energy reserves are so vast that if left unstable, they could collapse the universe. So,
Why is this a part of the Fox continuity? Are we sure?
yeah, Galactus is probably more than likely universal. And if that's the case, we're
Dragon Ball novels? Yeah, there is. There's the Dragon Ball Super Broly novelization, which you brought up, and then there's the superhero novelization, which doesn't have as much, but it's still good. It's still a fun read. Dragon Ball doesn't really do light novels as much though. Unfortunately, most of the upscaling for Dragon Ball comes from like anime filler and guidebooks, movies. But yeah.
We're gonna have to use Godzilla such as Showa and Heisei Godzilla. Showa Godzilla being a character who scales his own fighter, a character who can box with fourth dimensional kaiju that have the ability to raise the universe by the fourth dimension. With the fourth dimension stage to be another universe entirety, a separate space-time, and all the stuff that goes into that. Just for good measure, however, you might want to bring out Heisei Godzilla, a character who stated to be stronger than Showa Godzilla by two of themselves multiple times. And he also has the feats to back this up, as he was able to defeat Space Godzilla, a character who utilizes infinite energy and super gravity, which inherently is super dimensional in nature. And keep in mind, Space Godzilla has the ability to siphon energy and power, right? He did that to arguably a universal scale, as he stated utilize infinite energy multiple times, but Heisei Godzilla had such vast energy resources that it stated in the film that if Space Godzilla attempted to absorb his...
What's wrong, children? One Punch Man verse, any other verse? No. Even if you wanted to say, oh, Saitama has infinite power, he could one-shot anyone. Like, okay. Verse to verse, like, you still lose to a lot of other characters. Wasn't Naruto, like, large planet until Boruto? Oh. Excuse me. So this kind of gets back into some old power scaling lore from back in the day. But way back when, like during the Heian era of power scaling, you had people scaling characters in Naruto, generally like country or continental based on Bijou bombs that show the curvature of the planet. There were other feats. There was the moon feat in Naruto the Last, where Naruto takes out a massive portion of the moon with his chakra. And then you had like planetary statements for the Nine Tails, very consistent ones in my opinion. The highest scale was like Kaguya being able to destroy her realm with like a truth-seeking orb, an eternal truth-seeking orb, but people poked holes in that. People said she doesn't scale to it or like or anything like that. Yeah, like she doesn't scale to her realms. She doesn't scale to the eternal truth-seeking orb because she used chakra from the Shinobi Alliance, which is a bad argument, by the way. Genuinely, the chakra from the Shinobi Alliance would be like 1% of her full chakra.
his energy, he will have blown up because it's just too much. So Heisei Godzilla is a Godzilla who has more than infinite energy in his base form at this point. And speed doesn't matter either, as both Heisei and Showa Godzilla have MFTL plus scaling chains. As for one, Showa Godzilla scales to Ghidorah, a character who can fight at characters at his interstellar flight speed in space. Keep in mind, he flies at such speeds that he's able to traverse galaxies in minutes. And then there's Heisei Godzilla, who might unironically have infinite speed, seeing as how he scales to Space Godzilla, who is able to traverse from the end of the universe to Earth, with said universe being infinite in size.
Yeah. So the Ten Tails, right? The Ten Tails has statements of having like immeasurable chakra or infinite chakra. That's more so referring to energy reserves, not like attack potency. In my opinion. It's just saying that like, this thing never gets tired. So we can't just let it, because it'll keep firing its strongest attacks. Because it'll never get tired, but yeah. No, yeah, it is to the power of 2.5. Did I say multiply it by 2.5? Because my bad. Scaling isn't just feats, it's how the character works. Okay, I'll play your game. So, Ichigo always wins. Because that's how he works. He always overcomes despair. And he always beats his opponent. So, Ichigo beats Saitama. He overcomes Saitama and he beats him. So, yeah, there you are. And, you know, Goku always wins. Goku always breaks his limits and overcomes the obstacle in front of him. So, he beats Saitama, too. Let's see. Godzilla is always the strongest. That's how his character works. So, you know, he beats Saitama, too. Sonic's the fastest. That's just how his character works. So he beats Saitama in a foot race. He probably beats him in a fight too, because he always wins at the end of the game, right? And that's how he works. So let's see. How else can I like strawman this? Deku always wins. That's how he works. Arale over Saitama is just objectively factual. Yeah. Fucking. Fuck. How else can I like misconstrue this fucking dumbass argument? Brick walls are impenetrable, you know. Brick walls are always they're very hard, they're very strong. That's how they work. So, they fucking I don't know. They beat Saitama. Saitama always wins. Yeah, you know who else always wins? Ichigo, and Goku, and fucking like everyone. Everyone always wins. So fucking. They just balance each other out. Like, okay. What is this shit argument? It's like, oh, well, narratively speaking, Goku would win. Narratively speaking, Ichigo would win. I don't want to talk about it, honestly. But yeah.
And we even have scans from guidebooks that say that if the distance that Space Godzilla needs to travel to is infinite in scope, Space Godzilla... Keep in mind, Mugira scales to Space Godzilla while he's traveling in space, as the two are able to fight in orbit. So this level of speed is something that scales to their combat speeds and reaction times. I also want to note that
Saitama never lost. Okay, that doesn't matter. Like, that just like, okay, like, oh my god, this argument is very extremely silly in my opinion. So, because, like, okay, context always matters. Saitama doesn't lose, not because he can beat anyone in fiction. He doesn't lose because he has not fought anyone yet that is as strong or stronger than him. With the exception of, like, Cosmic Garo, but even then... He just grew past Cosmic Garo. If you put like a Marvel or a DC character in front of Saitama, like he's not going to be able to grow to that. They'll just beat him outright. But yeah. Yeah, couldn't kill a mosquito. Saitama's below mosquito level.
Due to Space
Or maybe that mosquito solo's fiction. You know, you never know.
Godzilla's control of gravity, factors such as the Earth's atmosphere wouldn't really hinder his speed at all. So when talking about Galactus versus Godzilla using cinematic interpretations, you gotta go with Godzilla. And before we move on to the gaming part, this video, I just want to give a quick shout out to the Chad Champ as he felt.
Let's see. Because I don't read comics, I'm going to be honest. Or I don't play games.
Is that in her ending of the game, it's shown that the version.
There we are. Yeah.
He's been Alliance scaling. He also does power scaling content like myself. So after you check out this video in the Chat Champ, that's another channel that I think you guys will.
Beerus one taps Bleach. He's not beating Yuha. I hope you know that. Unless you use like Battle of Gods Beerus, because his scaling is way better. Battle of Gods Beerus has statements, even from Toriyama, that he's like the strongest. He transcends dimensions. He transcends the dimension of the previous opponents. Like, he just is that strong. But those statements only apply to Beerus and Battle of Gods. Dragon Ball Super, the manga, and the anime, they don't have these statements. So Dragon Ball Super Beerus isn't beating Yuha. He's not beating Aizen. He might be Ichibei. But he definitely isn't beating Yuha or Aizen. He just isn't.
But with that being said, let's move on to our final round. So as you can imagine, the most complicated section of this video has to be comics. So let's just rip the band-aid off and go into Galactus' scaling. Galactus is one of the high tiers in the Marvel comic book universe. So with that being said, let's talk about the cosmology and the extent of it and how characters can...
Blah, blah, blah. Oh, I really gotta stop being mean. It's not funny. What other Beerus is there? I just said... Like, the fucking... Yeah, there's, like, Saitama is boundless. Boundless can just mean infinite. And I already said, like, you can give Saitama infinite AP. It doesn't matter.
Can affect it and how he scales his said characters. See how complicated it's getting already? Let's just, take it one step at a time. Basically, the...
Fight more. Please. More conflict in chat. Death Battle going to do Ichigo versus Yusuke. Ichigo got that. Ichigo kind of slams his... Like, I'm gonna be real. Ichigo's like a Dragon Ball Super kind of character. Like, Naruto or Yu Yu Hakusho. Other anime with, like, higher interpretations, kind of like a... Let's see. There really aren't that many. Yeah, there aren't really that many, are there? But, like, My Hero, Jujutsu Kaisen, One Piece, like, none of them are beating Ichigo. Ichigo probably beats a lot of Naruto, too. So, yeah. He's boundless like the tier boundless? Ah, yes, of course. Based on, nothing.
Marvel Comics universe states...
Like, okay, hey, Saitama fans, right? So, can you show me where it says that he beats everyone in fiction, right? Because it's always like, oh, he's One Punch Man. He can beat anyone. But, like, where is that stated? Where does it say that? Who said that? No one said that. The author didn't say that. The illustrator didn't say that. The people making the anime didn't say that. The only person that said that, the only people who ever said that, is you guys. Is Saitama fans. Completely pulled it out of nowhere. Complete fan fiction. It's not real. Okay, I gotta stop being mad. Sorry. It's not funny. But yeah. Worldview for Dragon Ball Subspace. I'll look into that after the stream. Aizen versus Sephiroth. Aizen got that. If I'm being realistic, Eisen got that.
Have, you know, an infinite multiverse with each universe expanding into, you know, infinite dimensions and timelines and such. So we've already got a multiversal plus construct as our baseline for the cosmology, but we have pretty solid evidence for higher dimensions.
That's his trope. Where is it stated? Where does it say that? Just show me where it says that. Show me who said that. You know, like, oh, well, he beats everyone in the story. Yeah, but, like, the context matters, right? Who does he beat? He beats characters that can, like, destroy cities, or he can destroy countries, people who can destroy planets or solar systems or galaxies, but that's not the scope of everything. There's more outside of just, like, the universe in power scaling, right? In fiction, there could be infinite dimensions. And not even just like an infinite multiverse. I'm talking like an infinite hierarchy of higher spatial dimensions. So you really got to think like, okay, does Saitama show us that he can one-shot someone who can do that? And like, he just doesn't do that. Maybe he'll one-shot his god, right? Maybe he'll beat God in one punch, right? Even that would be like multiversal, based on what we know. And even a lot of that is from, like, old lore from the Empty Void stuff that's been retconned. But even if it was still valid, even if it was still canon, that still wouldn't be enough to beat characters that exist on higher dimensional planes than a multiverse. Because there's stuff above that, so, yeah. No, I did not see your link. Sorry. But yeah.
Dimensions, you know? For example, when Thor is stuck in a fourth dimensional construct, he states that his divinity means that it's pretty much meaningless to him. So already we have 5D implications. The cosmology is stated to have realms of dimensionality that are infinitely larger than the previous baseline for the universe and stuff. In this panel here, when talking about the spatial dimensions explicitly, we have evidence for over 10 verbatim, unironically. And then we have a character such as the Watcher, whose death goes on to affect 12 dimensions, with the wording implying that these dimensions are spatial in nature due to the wording of superstring. Keep in mind, Galactus is in the same ballpark of power as the Watcher, so you know, the Watcher being able to affect 12 dimensions just by dying passively means that Galactus in the comics at a low ball is already 12D. But that's his physical avatar, as his true form is stated to be beyond all dimensions in their entirety, so
He can never lose. Why? Why can he never lose? You know, I'm done. I'm not doing it. It's not good for my blood pressure.
off rip, he's possibly an outer-versal being. I know you guys like that word a lot, outer-versal. But yeah, Galactus is really strong in the comics, man. And I'm just gonna say it, there's no version of Godzilla in the comics that consistently gets into those outer-versal ranges. I know people wank him, but a lot of his are carried by like Twitter statements. Now, I'm not downplaying Godzilla in Hell. Yeah, I'm gonna say his name. I have a whole video on him right here. He's super strong, but I think the best his scaling gets is just upscaling the movies and the IDW Godzilla cosmology. As in that story, Godzilla defeats God Mountain, with God Mountain being the creator of the Godzilla IDW comic part of the universe, which in itself has implications to be a grander extent of the Godzilla film universe. You have variant characters such as Miki Sagusa making appearances in some of these IDW runs, and we have the Godzilla Power Ranger special, which kind of just blatantly confirms that the IDW cosmology is the same as the films. But anyways, the IDW...
All right, interesting. That's interesting. I like that. Yeah, this chat is just filled with copium. People just like, oh, Saitama beats your favorite character because I said so. I really shouldn't strawman like that. It's not professional, but it does sound like that. Like really, I can't read it in any other voice. It's not like I can, well, Saitama beats your favorite character because he can beat anyone. He can one-punch anyone. His name is One Punch Man. Like, no, those are I'ma be real. Those are childish arguments. Like that's something like a 5-year-old would say. Like he's called One Punch Man. Wow. And Saitama isn't even called One Punch Man in the manga. Like the manga's called One Punch Man. But Saitama is never called One Punch Man in the story. So even then, it's like...
Godzilla cosmology is made up of in the
Don't worry, I hate my keyboard too.
universes in this multiverse. God Mountain views it all as finite.
Well, okay, we don't need to use terms like Saitama tards. Let's not stray that far, okay? Just because someone's a little delusional about a fictional character doesn't mean they have like mental illness or anything.
Meaning that as a baseline, he's around 5D. You could get him to 6D or possibly even 7D depending on how you scale the films.
Doesn't One Punch Man follow 11D Heidelbert space theory? No, it doesn't. That never happened. Genos like throws the term out, but that's like saying Sonic is 12D because Eggman brings up string theory. Like what if like fucking if like Goku said something about like fucking the many worlds interpretation, does he suddenly become like outerversal or something? Like that's people need a scale to it first. You need proof it exists beyond just dimension. And then you need to prove someone scales to it.
But there's nothing there that's going to get him as high as...
Yeah, exactly. That's a really good way to put it. Saitama's a really big fish in a small pond. And if you drop him in some larger ponds, like Bleach or Dragon Ball, I'm going to be honest, even like Naruto characters, like, it kind of looks bad for him.
Outerverse.
Like, Saitama's a big fish in a small pond. Goku's a big fish in an enormous pond. You know, Ichigo's like a big fish in an enormous pond, right? Godzilla's a big fish in an enormous pond, so yeah.
From here, you could attempt to wank Godzilla in Hell by using, IDW's own concession that it's a megaverse to try to say that God Mountain scales above the entirety of IDW as like a comic brand, with said brand crossing over to Marvel Comics and DC Comics multiple times. So that's like the way you wank Godzilla in Hell to upscale all of Marvel and DC, but even pretending that it's consistent is kind of just fanboyism in my opinion. Like between both of these characters, one gets the outerversal very easily, and it's not Godzilla, unfortunately. But hey, if there's one
This is a good video.
version of Godzilla that I think can swap hands with Galactus, it's possibly, and I say possibly, the newest Godzilla from the Godzilla vs. Marvel universe.
Yeah, I like this video. And I liked it so much I liked it. I liked the video. Most fish don't have hair. Most fish. I see. Only most fish. There are some fish that do have hair. But yeah. Stream's kind of dragging. We're repeating a lot of the same stuff, so. I'll give you, this is the next video. You guys know Yuha's immortal too, right? Yeah, so fucking. Yeah, this is the next video. It's the Akatsuki versus the League of Villains. I think it's interesting, so I'm making it, and that's all I care about. Anyway, yeah, stream's over. There's nothing really to talk about anymore. Thank you all very much for tuning in. I do appreciate it. Even the Saitama guys, even you guys. You guys made stream fun. Stream was fun. Yeah, I know. Here's the thing, right? I think it's a good video in spite of its subject. Because I'ma be real, Goji Chronic is just actually like a good power scaler. He's not amazing, but I think he is a good power scaler. He's very... how do I put it? He's a lot more open to other kind of scaling metas than someone like Lonk, for example. Lonk is very hard. He's like, well, maybe you could argue it. You fucking, excuse me. Well, maybe you could argue it, but you're kind of stupid if you do. Whereas Goji is like, yeah, you could argue it. I don't think so, but you can. And then I try to approach it from like, you can argue this, or you could argue that. You know, it's all equal interpretation. But yeah. When's the next stream? I don't know. Fucking next time, I guess. I don't know. Maybe I'll stream on Fridays. I'll post a video on Thursdays. I'll stream on Fridays.